Richard here. October 20 something. I'm losing track of the days here. Almost at the end of the month. 2025. And pretty well got the whole building cleaned out. This is going to be one of my last ever walkthroughs in the jam space. There's that stage though. This was an unorthodox building and an unorthodox stage because the building actually gets smaller as it goes towards the back of the building. And I didn't want to put the stage on the wall that I'm facing now with the camera. I thought a long room with a small stage between the door and the wall over here, I didn't like it. And I wanted this sort of long, narrow room. I wanted everyone to feel like they were kind of close to the action. So what we actually have here is a stage that is 28 feet and maybe like a couple of inches wide. And in the sections where it's the deepest, it's something like 7 feet and 4 inches deep. Up here as well. I usually have like the singer kind of up there in that middle section that's also a little bit deep. You could have a drummer behind them there. Or sometimes you would maybe put a drummer off over here. But yeah, the most narrow points of the stage are like here. It's 4 feet and 2 inches probably again. So anyways, the wood is from a shed that I tore down behind the building. Thanks to my friend Dave for helping with the stage, building it. My dad did the carpeting. My dad did basically the flooring in this entire building, so thanks for that, Dad. We also built these little risers. I don't know if anyone helped me with that. Maybe Dave wasn't here for that portion. But yeah, we just put some seats up there. Yeah, the bars over here. I've kind of taken some of the things out. Obviously there was a bunch of records and music memorabilia and things like all over the walls, and I've just patched and painted and kind of filled in all those holes and kind of, if I had the paint, if I still had some left over of that paint, I patched it up. There is, up in the front of the building, I didn't have this yellow gold color anymore, so I can't really finish fixing that up for whoever might ever use this building for who knows what. Let's come into, turn the lights on here. And in the bar area here, I kind of used this at first as I used to do my music lessons in the front part of the building. This is kind of what this room was at first, while I was still basically doing renovations in the back. Took out a lot of like custom shelving that I had up here and on this side, and there was, kind of one of the first little pieces of furniture that I built. It was sitting here, and then we had like sort of a small fridge there. Anyways, it was a good spot to watch the show, and right across the hall from, we had sort of a kitchen in here, but honestly, this place was sort of a living quarters. I lived in this building for at least 1.5 years. And so this has, this was sort of a kitchen originally, I guess, but I had a bed up against that wall. I mean, honestly, these walls didn't even exist between the front of the building and the back of the building. Like, this wall and the other wall. It was just one big room here up in the, whatever, 2009 when I first came across it. So the first thing was to build this wall here, and then I had sort of like a living quarters. My uncle helped me with all the painting in the building. You know, everything's been painted. My uncle helped me with construction of, you know, a lot of different things, the bathrooms, and yeah, I mean, this building doesn't look at all like it did when I found it, came across it. It was basically abandoned, and you know, a lot of people just said you're crazy, and you know, all these years later, it's like, yeah, I guess I probably was a little bit, a lot, but it could have went a lot better. You know, maybe I could still be here. Let me just say a few things could have went a different way, and this might still be happening, but things go the way they go. And anyhow, so yeah, I lived in here. It felt like forever, but it probably was only like a year and a half, maybe getting close to 2 years or something like that. But yeah, you're living on Main Street in a small town. But you know, you're under the magnifying glass. But also just putting on concerts in the back here, music lessons, and trying to live all in here. It was a lot for this space. There used to be like a furnace room here. You know, like there was a door. You'd swing the door in here, and in the furnace and the hot water heater and everything's in there. And it kind of went out to like here-ish. And I thought, well, that's just a, you know, storage room basically. But I thought that's a kind of a waste of space so I just turned it into just basically a closet for the furnace. And then also this wall obviously wasn't here. Oh, I guess not obviously. This is for people that don't know, I guess. And this wall wasn't here. And this bathroom wasn't there either. Basically, you came into, there was like a small little privacy hallway, and right there, that toilet and that sink is where one of the bathrooms was originally. And then if you went down here, down this little privacy hall that doesn't exist anymore, you could get into a mirror image of this bathroom was in there. So these two like postage stamp sized bathrooms, and the hallway was so small too. So that was another thing, another big change. So what I had to do was this accordion door, lock that up, and nobody, you know, during an event could go into, like, I would have like, you know, supplies, things in here, but also this is where my shower was, you know. And so again, that's how I was able to live in the building. Anyways, I'll take a quick little peek in this washroom here. I've taken the mirror, but yes, there used to be a mirror in here. But anyways, this one, it's kind of hard to tell, but it is actually bigger than either of those ones were. So that was just another quality of life improvement that I tried to make for people that would come here. But that, it doesn't mean that people were actually comfortable. All I tried to do all the time was like, how could I make this a more comfortable place? But it's a small room, and it was something unlike what most people here had ever experienced. And not everybody likes everybody, actually. As it turns out, almost nobody likes anyone. So you go to a place where you're going to be kind of in close quarters with people, and, you know, it might not be a place you want to be. So lots of things that I didn't really understand would be such an issue. No one would tell you that they would be an issue point blank, but they would really, really try to discourage you from doing what you wanted to do in a number of ways that just made me want to do them even more. So anyways, we're at the 10-minute point. So there's kind of just a look at how the building's looking here, late October 2025. Richard Grew here at the Jam Space. Signing out.